welcome to Voices in PR. I am Blair. I'm the founder of Ball Communications. Today we have Jaclynn and Summer, co-founders of Fyli NYC, to join us. Welcome.
Yay. Thank you for
so
having
much.
us.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. So just to give a little bit of context, we pronounce it Fyli NYC. Fyli stands for tribe in Greek. So we are a female executive mastermind, which is a peer-to-peer accountability and leadership group. And Summer and I founded Fyli about 1.5 years ago out of our own personal need. We're both female entrepreneurs. Summer's running her marketing agency, Nuwa Marketing, between the US and China. And I left my fashion corporate role to join a tech startup. And we both realized that we needed more support. We needed to have conversations with other women about VCs and funding and how to negotiate contracts and vesting schedules. So it was a personal need, and we decided to fill that need and create our own mastermind group. And we started very small. We started piloting a mastermind with Soho House, New York, our own personal co-working space. And we opened applications. We got an overwhelming response. We had about 480 women in the New York tri-state area. And because of quarantine, we pivoted online, and we now have a global community of 6,000 female founders and corporate women. And Summer can speak a little bit about the types of women that are in our Fyli tribe.
And I want to talk more about our ladies, who they are, and maybe we can talk about partnerships, like all of the partners we worked with in the past year, and then we can talk about the bigger mission. So our ladies, so Fyli is a big community, as Jackson said, we have 6,000 women globally. And then under the big community, we have 2 different groups. One is the Fyli masterminds. So those ladies, 80% female founders, 20% corporate C-suite. So 40% of them in finance and technology, 40% in consumer goods, and 20% are in PR and marketing. So that's the Fyli masterminds. Fyli Tribe, which is monthly subscription membership. So it's only $49.99, and you can come, you can stay, and you can cancel anytime. So for those women that are aspirational to be female founders and corporate C-suites, so they're very talented, they're creative, they're freelancer, that designer, that illustrator, and some of them went back to grad school for MBA or more adventurous exploration, because they want to eventually level up in their own professional life. So that's the 2 different groups. And then I want to talk about partnerships, because we're so big in partnerships. In a short of a year, we collaborated with companies such as Google, Lyft, Soho House, Core Club, Y7, like SAP, the best of the best organizations and companies in the world. It's very funny when I look at the other masterminds, and when I look at the founders of mastermind, when they share stories, it's like our first meeting is at a small hotel room, and we only had 6 people. I mean, our starting point was like so high. The first ever event we did was with the Soho House, and we had like 150 people sign up, but eventually we can only host 75 people. And that was already very generous from Soho House, because they increased the capacity for us. So our starting point was already high. So we are so grateful for our partners, as always. And then I want to talk about the bigger mission. So the need of funding a mastermind was very personal, as Jackson told you, and we couldn't find the product in New York City, eventually cover the whole country. We couldn't find it. But then during the journey, we find our true mission. Because good businessmen make profit, good entrepreneurs help the human society move forward. Along the way, we met so many fantastic women. We hear their laughters, we see their tears, we share our vulnerability, we support each other. So when you have a community like Fyli, you don't do it to fit your own needs anymore. You want to build Fyli bigger, to support more women, because every time we talk to a male friends, they were like, the mastermind we are in were like 80%, 90% man, and our business just tripled. And I was like, why couldn't we find a mastermind for women and our business tripled and our happiness tripled? And so many women feel uncomfortable or intimidated walking to a mastermind when you see 90% of them are men. And the dynamic, all of a sudden the dynamic is different, it's shifted, and you don't feel being seen, being heard. So right now our bigger mission is definitely to help more women rise, to support them. Yeah.
I would say, of course, like any business, you always face obstacles. We frame our failures into discoveries because we always believe that there's a learning opportunity and a lesson. So just to give you a few examples, when we first started Fyli, it was a true passion project. So Summer and I were both running full-time businesses and running Fyli. And, you know, it took some time for us to fully decide that we want to pour all of our time and energy to make this our full-time business and our baby, and to hire the right team and staff to help. I would also say a big challenge was when we were planning our programming for the year and the whole world shut down. We had 24 hours. Summer and I came together and we said, you know what, we're going to change our business model, launch a new product, and host everything virtually. So that was a huge moment for us, because as an entrepreneur, you have to remember that you have to be flexible. You have to be able to pivot. You have to be malleable, because things happen. And instead of looking at it like a major crisis, we turned it into an opportunity.
Yes. And I think another challenge I would like to share is team. Because as a startup, usually the founders as a full team, right? The entire team, and you don't have funding. I mean, it takes time to do fundraise. So in the beginning, Jax and I, we invested ourselves and our personal funds into the business. But when we start to develop, like 2 of us, we cannot do all of those. So in the beginning, we already sensed the obstacle and the struggles that we are short of staff. So finding the right first founding employee was so important. And I think we tried before we find the perfect one. Right now, Catherine is our head of house, and she's been with us like the second month ever since we launched our event. And Catherine is Jaclyn's best friend, and Kat knows Jax for 10 years. And throughout building Fyli, Kat and I got to know each other, and we're very good friends right now. So before Kat, you need to try so many different people until you find the perfect one. So we tried, I think, like at least 2 other ladies, and good people, very nice ladies, but not the right fit. So finding Kat, I mean, like Kat is so capable, so talented, so organized, and so smart, so bright, with high emotional intelligence, very good characters. I mean, finding a talent like Kat is already hard in the market. And then while a startup, we don't have enough funding. So how do you keep the talent like her? So we got super lucky because we met Kat, and we have Kat, and Kat joined our team. And then we have another support with Kate Kelly, who is our head of partnership. And Kate does high-level partnerships for us, and she's been consulting with us for as long as we've been existing. So we're very grateful to find the team. But in the beginning, like finding the right talent is so hard. I think it's seeing how our members grow. It's not how Fyli grow as a startup, it's how each individual, the members, how they grow. So I want to share general, and we can show a few case studies. So in general, our ladies' personal finance increased. I don't want to say it, but during COVID, most of our members, their personal finance grows. And if they have startups business, their business like grow. And their happiness, like mental well-being, they feel supported, connected, and they feel happier. It's all during COVID. And then it's physical health. So our ladies feel physically, they didn't get sick. They feel like energetic. They feel like they full of energies. They can become very productive. And some specific case study is one of our ladies. She has a chocolate business, and she's been like collaborating with fantastic partners through us, like such as Soho House, Cafe Soon, and the sales grow, like different distribution for wholesales. So I think one of the biggest accomplishment is like to see how Fyli can contribute to our members. Yeah, I'm very proud of that. Yeah. Jax, do you, but as I said, I think we have so many other accomplishments. Jax, do you have something you want to add to?
Sure. I mean, I agree, of course, with Summer. It's always beautiful to see our women that we support have their accomplishments. Their accomplishments are our accomplishments. But I'd say on a business or a scale level for Fyli, I think it was a really great accomplishment to be able to pivot everything virtually in 24 hours, use our network, and more than quadruple the amount of women we have in our community. That was a huge accomplishment because we don't have big marketing budgets. There's 3 team members. So to be able to bring in 6,000 women, cultivate community, create programming, and host more than 150 virtual events in the past 6 months is a huge accomplishment for us. We were able to do it. We had moments of struggle, of course, but we put our community first and we worked as a team. And I'd say the next big accomplishment, what we're doing right now, we're opening our pre-seed round. We are raising $2 million to grow and scale Fyli, to also add a technology component, which will benefit women everywhere and help them find a mentor, and to build our team and eventually take Fyli to China, which I know we'll talk more about later. So all of those are huge accomplishments on the business side. So I think Summer and I both have a shared goal. Our eventual dream of Fyli is to be able to have a fund that we invest in our women that join our mastermind group. It shows that we have skin in the game. We help them, we give them funding, we have some equity, we help them grow and scale their businesses. That's definitely a huge goal. Another huge goal is to bring Fyli NYC to China. So we will start with Shanghai. Summer is from China. We see a huge need in the market to support Chinese female entrepreneurs and vice versa, and to be able to expand globally. And Summer, please feel free to jump in as well.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, we have shared goals. So whatever Jaclynn shared is our ultimate goal. And I want to give you some more details, like fun facts. So ever since we launched the Fyli Mastermind and in our beta piloting program, like the ever first cohort we launched, we had a fantastic member and her business is very successful. So we just caught up with her a few weeks ago, and she told me, she looked at other prestigious membership clubs, right? They have the physical clubs, and she didn't join all of them. I mean, she's very successful, financially no problem. And she didn't choose other clubs, and she chose us because she told me, to her, having a physical club doesn't mean that you have community. That's why she chose to join us. So when I look at other entrepreneurs, startup founders, like eventually our goal is to have a physical clubhouse. That's a beautiful goal because we do see the beauty of having a physical location. But right now, we see our women, you need to give them more, not just like a place they can hang out, have meetings, can enjoy themselves, can meet incredible people, but they also need to see the support. Is like I'm raising the seed fund, I'm raising the Series A, and because we know them personally, we know their business, they're with us for years and years, right? It's not like we don't know their business, we don't know who they are. So for us, it's very natural to have limited partners and have a fund to give them the oil and fuel so they can take off their business on an accelerated pace. So that's definitely one of the goals. And second is China, because Jaclynn is like, Jaclynn hasn't been to China yet, but we're going to China together. She's so intuitive when it comes to China. So we were discussing, because you need to start with one city and then you can expand, right? So I was thinking like China, so Shanghai, Beijing, and Hong Kong. And I discussed with her, I was like, which one should we start with? And she's so right. And sometimes I got like, blind myself. She's like, Hong Kong is good, but Hong Kong is, the market is not as big as Shanghai and Beijing, which is absolutely right. And then we got into like Shanghai or Beijing, her gut feelings like look at Shanghai first, and we did so much research, and the data is incredible. So Shanghai is the top 5 cities for female entrepreneurship. Can you believe it? And Beijing is in the top 10 list too, but Shanghai ranked like a little bit higher than Beijing. And then like we and like in at the we workspace, so women members almost like a 50% at co-working space, whereas in other co-working space women are like 30%. So Shanghai is very strong, and I have so many investors friends, entrepreneur friends, like female friends in Shanghai, and they were looking for a community like us, Fyli, but they couldn't find one. So it's like we see where we can serve. So it's like a servitude. And because we see so many entrepreneurs, like they need a community like Fyli, so we have to go. We have to bring them the support, accountability, the community.
I would say this is where it's been so beautiful that we each have different strengths that we bring to the table as co-founders. Summer got so creative over COVID and came up with all of these really fun ideas and campaigns, along with Catherine, our head of house, who's also super creative, to find ways to collaborate on content with our women and try different challenges and create this cool video content that everybody can be home and safe, but we can edit and fuse things together. So that was a big one. Summer actually launched a series for Fyli called Friends of Fyli, where she interviews female entrepreneurs on her Instagram channel for IG Lives. And she also facilitated weekly takeovers. So bringing in our women to show a day in their life. And she would manage and oversee, and each week bring on a different female entrepreneur to highlight them. So I think on the business level, it was really about being creative.
That's
and Summer, you talk about personal too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we do have a good social media following, but Jax definitely has a higher engagement. Her engagement is maybe like twice of my engagement. So I'm very proud of us, because during COVID, we actually launched 2 short films. Like one is Resilience to Rise, right? And we have another video. Yeah, I couldn't think of what is like why I couldn't. So you know, it's really hard to produce shorts, like short movies in general. It's hard. And how could you produce one during COVID? It's even harder. But then during COVID, we feel like we need, everybody needs some spirited guidance to make you feel like opportunities do exist from with crisis. And during the hard times and hardships, we have to see the hope and to see the light. So we produced a short called Resilience to Rise, because you have to have the resilience to first and to exercise it, and then eventually you thrive. And then that short, we had fantastic support from Susan Rockefeller to Sandra Campos, to all of the ladies, like Natasha Hastings, Olympic twice gold medalist, like everybody who was involved in Fyli like showed up in the shorts. So that's collaborative. Yeah, you just need to make it work. And the other beauty I want to share is we don't see ourselves as social media influencers, but sometimes we do see the beauty, because once you have an audience, your voice matters. You can bring positive message and positive influence. So we do want to utilize the following on social media to express the message we want to bring to the community as well to the world. So many of our personal social media partnerships who came to us, they want to work with us on an individual level. We actually brought them to Fyli as a community partnership. Some good community partnerships, including Gallery Wine. So Gallery Wine right now is the brand representative Gianna, she herself is like incredible, like pivoted from being a chemist to a family business to develop the wine brands. So when we have brands like this, we want to bring it to Philly communities so our ladies can get to know the brand more, and the brand can educate our ladies on wine and on history. So we do see the natural synergy. And when it comes to produce content, because Jaclynn and I, we literally are so busy. Jaclynn is probably even busier because she does high-level consulting for her clients, creative duality for branding. We're so busy, we don't see ourselves a content creator because we have friends who is amazing at creating content, such as Tessa. Tessa right now, she has like over 1 million following, and her content is like a Vogue magazine cover. I think if we really spend time and attention and energy, I think we can do a very beautiful curated feed, but it's not who we are because we're entrepreneurs, we're so busy, we're doing so many things. So naturally we cannot spend that much effort to create content. But I think we're entrepreneurs. So the message we bring to the community, we a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So because before doing Fyli, Summer and I would do a lot of influencer partnerships with different brands. And as you are an entrepreneur, especially in a leadership role where you have thousands of women that look up to you as a mentor or a guide, we've really redefined the term influencer into role model. So we make sure that our content, even personally, is purpose driven. It has a positive message. We're promoting brands that are ethical, diverse, and sustainable. And we're giving real reviews on things that we feel passionately about. So I think before doing Fyli, you know, our choices might have been a little bit different on the content we posted or the brands that we collaborated with. But stepping into a leadership role, it's about community building and promoting things that align with our mission and our values.
I think I agree with Jax. And I think it's a learning journey for me as well, because before, I just don't have how to find a proper way to say it. I mean, you have responsibility. You definitely need to be careful about what you say. Of course, you keep your authenticity, you keep your character, right? You want to reveal who you are through your social media platforms. So 100%, I was always authentic, but also during the journey, you have to be careful. To choose the message to show and to make sure it will be perceived in a positive way. I would never want to post something that could be perceived as a negative thing. So during Black Lives Matters, that's a great example. Like you have to do a lot of education yourself, and you have to mentally really get there to constantly challenge yourself, and then you feel like comfortable to share because you feel like you have a mission for the humanity. And another side is like when we collaborate with luxury brands or luxury resorts, also you need to still stay true to yourself, but not coming from a very from a surface level. You need to show the positive message behind it. So a lot of times when I look at my social media platforms, like something I would post 3 years ago, right now, like how I rephrase my message is very different. Yeah, because we do have a responsibility. We have to be careful and mindful with what we express, and hopefully our messages is perceived as positive and in a very clear way that can bring positive influence to our audience.
Wow. Well, we could say these days look a lot different. Usually it would be running around New York City from meeting to meeting or working side by side and just having a blast together. I miss being next to Summer physically, but these days it looks like this on the Zoom. We structure our weeks to take meetings on Tuesdays and Fridays, and we stack them from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. back to back to back to back. So we structure our weeks to have days where we execute days where we focus on design or our operational work, and then days that we have meetings to be the most efficient that we can. So Mondays are usually a day of gathering, preparing, organizing, executing. Tuesdays are meetings. Wednesdays and Thursdays, we're both executing, and Fridays we bring the team back together. So that's kind of how we structure our week. So every week is different. We're planning programming, we're speaking to experts, we're connecting with people, and we're doing lots of different events for our community, always on Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I would like to walk through you for our daily routines. So Jax gave you the overview for weekly routines. Oh, so I don't know, like which one is more tiring. Like in the past, we were running around. We also have to attend meetings and events. But when you have 9 meetings a day, at the end of the day, I really need to take a walk to have some cold, fresh air, because I literally got my headache. I don't know how Jax does it. She just can stretch so much. Like after 9 meetings, she still does her design work. She still does her consulting work. It's like so much like high level energy goes to it. So having a daily routine is very important. And I actually picked it up from Jax. So before COVID, I didn't have a daily routine. I did not have a morning routine, and now I have it, and I see the beauty of it. So Jax, we do similar things, but like different timing. So in the morning, we wake up, so we meditate. After we meditate, Jax does her workout, and I do yoga and HIIT, and then we journal. So we journal in the morning or in the evening, and then we both read, but we read at different times. So just having. So if Jax has enough time, her morning routine literally 3 hours. Yeah. So yeah. Right now is like my morning routine. Maybe I can cut it to 1 hour, like meditation, yoga, or HIIT, and then just go to our meetings. So just having a morning routine is very important. And in the evening, like Jax moved to Austin, and we both like to take long walks or meditate outside. Like just allocate some time for yourself, take a long walk, do a jogging. That helps a lot.
So that's a great question. And years ago, in my naive days, my young days, I used to think success was monetary, right? Success was about money or status. And for me, success is true happiness. It's feeling good about what you do every day. It's having peace of mind. It's enjoying your life. And for me, that is true success.
Shockingly and unbelievably, my definition is the same. But we each worked on different paths, our own paths to reach the place where we both share. That's the definition of success. In the past, really over the years, my mentality has shifted so much. In the past, I did everything, a lot of things based on ego. Like so many people can be very successful based on ego, because when you have a strong ego, you care about the status, you care about fame, you care about finance. So those people, like narcissists, they tend to be successful because they really care about those things. But then when you build everything based on ego, your happiness, the degree of happiness is so low. You feel so frustrated because if you don't get it, you don't feel happy. If you don't win the award, don't get featured, you feel frustrated. It's a very small self. And then I literally changed, because right now we don't do everything based on ego. We do everything for intention. How much we can give, how much we can support, how much we can help and influence. So then it's not based on ego anymore, it's based on greater self. So the definition of success is how joyful you can work on your own path. So right now, building Fyli, of course, we're a startup, and we're getting fundings, we're developing the teams. we're so happy. And of course, we have daily like the episode, like stressful episode deadlines, but overall, we're very happy. Yeah, and to us, we're already successful. Yeah.
I would say, well, Summer and I work really hard on personal and professional growth. We never stop learning. Summer is such an avid reader. She inspires me. This woman reads a book a week, like incredible, vicious reader.
That's amazing.
Constantly finding ways to educate herself or better herself. We recommend books to each other. So we're both always reading. We put in the work. So if we don't understand something, we ask questions. We do our best to educate ourselves. We attend different conferences for growth, and Summer and myself both will even join a very high level mastermind, hopefully this year in 2021, to constantly push ourselves out of our comfort zones and to encourage change and growth.
Yeah, and I think I learned leadership before Jackson. I was managing new marketing. Yes, and the biggest team I ever had was 7 people between China and the US. But you know, I think Jax was the one who opened the door to true leadership for me, because when I met her and looking at how she incentivize the team, how she encourages the team, how organized she is, how passionate she is, how motivational she is. Like her leadership style is true leadership style. It's not based on how to manage people. It's more like how you encourage people to be the best version of themselves, and how she help our team members to grow as well. Because as a leader, you grow business, but the good leaders, you help your team grow as well. So she helped me grow as a good leader. So just like working with her definitely just like opened my way to become a good leader. And then we of course we come down to like all of the technicals, reading books, going to seminars, high level events, and talking to our personal mentors. Yeah.
Oof, the biggest takeaway from 2020. I think 2020 was just such a year of, realization. Our lives were moving so fast all the time. We never had a moment to just sit and think. And 2020 forced all of us to really look at ourselves and to evaluate our lives. Are we on our purpose path? Are we happy? Are we making the right decisions for our future? And I think 2020 was really a year of resiliency and strength, and kind of like a rebirth for a lot of people, right? Finding out what's most important in life. My biggest thing was realizing I don't need as much as I thought I needed to be happy in a materialistic way, that I didn't need much to be happy, that if I had my team and I had my purpose and I had a few great people in my life, I would be happy. In 2021, for like my outlook of it, is a year of building and creation. It's a year of scale. It's taking all of the learnings of 2020 and just kind of hitting the ground running and creating our Fyli global empire. So it's a year of getting in action and doing.
Yeah, Jax always shared the overview, the general direction, and that because we always share the general direction, and so I come with like sharing some more details, like the fun details. Of course, we cannot reveal everything, but I will reveal some exciting details. So definitely fundraising, but fundraising one were very exclusive. We don't accept any investments from everyone. It has to be people will feel aligned with us, like good characters, good hearts. We have the same vision to support women and female entrepreneurs. So we're very exclusive on fundraising parts, and that's a big part of 2021 and our advisors. So along the way, both Jax and me, we are so lucky to meet our personal mentors, women who are more advanced than us. They had more experience, both discoveries and success. We call failures as discoveries. Yeah. So those women and our mem ambassadors. So good advisors also on the pipeline. Again, we don't choose advisors based on only like titles, status, or fame. So we choose advisors on characters, personalities, shared missions. So that's a part. And another part is that's a very scary thing. You know, 3 years ago, both Jax and myself come from a background of fashion. We love fashion. We're fashion lovers. So she want to do like we both found, oh, we should launch brands, we should launch styles, we should launch collections in the future. So in the past, we thought about it, we talked about it, and we let it go because we focus on Fyli, right? We surrender it. And this year, all of a sudden, a great opportunity came to on our way. And like, you know, once you manifest it, universe, that's how universe works. You manifest, you surrender, and it will just happen in an unexpected way. So that's something on the pipeline. Yeah, and hopefully COVID-19 will end soon with the vaccines, and we can have our retreat. All of our ladies are so excited for the retreat. Definitely, we want to do it after COVID ends. So safety is our priority concern. That's something, yeah, to look forward to as well.
Favorite work story. I mean, I think maybe my favorite was just like how ambitious we are. We think we can conquer the world and we just like go all in. And we were having a team meeting. We were having a team meeting in the like second week of February, and this was last year, pre-pandemic. And for years, I was, you know, always involved in different women's organizations. And I used to run actually a 501c3 foundation that used to support girls' education. And International Women's Day was always such a big thing for us. We would do an event every year. And I came to Summer and I'm like, you know, we should do an event for International Women's Day. And Summer's like, well, it's less than, you know, 3 weeks away. Maybe a little tight on timing, but if you're passionate about it, like, sure, let's do it. So we had this little idea to do like, you know, a brunch or a panel discussion. And we winded up doing a 350 person conference in New York. And it happened literally 2 days before New York City shut down for quarantine in March. It happened March 8th, 2020. And it's a funny story for me because when we come together, we're unstoppable. We don't do things small. We don't play small, we play big. So this little idea to bring some women together to celebrate turned into this huge celebration. And now this year, we're doing a huge virtual celebration in partnership with Double A Labs, which is a female founded AR and gaming company based in Austin by Amber Allen. And they have created an amazing virtual world. And we are going to host a global event this year, March 8th, 2021, virtually, where we can host as many women and men as we want without any limit capacity online. So it's this little idea that always turns into these, you know, these huge feats for us because of the support and confidence we have in ourselves and each other.
So the beauty of social media in China, I think probably it's the #1 country of how you see sales conversion from social media platforms directly. I think that's the biggest country. China is #1. When you work with influencers, when you put a campaign on social media, the sales just immediately skyrocket. Immediately, it could be a sold out collection. The sales could hit like millions of dollars very fast. And then we have like the Singles Day, right? The Singles Day is a good sales holiday. So everything about the social media, I think that China maximized the potential of sales conversions. Yeah, I think United States, we have good influencers, we have good social media platforms, but how to convert social media influence into sales, China does better. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the best thing is you get to work with your best friends. I mean, who
Yes.
doesn't want to go to work every day and get to have fun and play and laugh and cry and do all the things with your best friends? It's a very different kind of environment when you feel really supported. You can be vulnerable. You can say, hey, girl, I'm having a bad day. Or Summer can look at me and be like, go back to bed. You're cranky today. Or like,
Yes.
you can't those kinds of conversations in a very, very structured corporate environment. It allows us to build, to create, to dream, and to truly support each other. And it's just so beautiful to have that kind of relationship where you fully trust your partner. There's no question about finance, who's doing what, or you just have a level of trust. And I've never had that in any of the businesses I've had before or partners I've had. I have never had the level of trust and understanding that I do with Summer and Catherine, who's our head of house, because they are my best friends. And it's so beautiful. It really is. Friends. And it's so beautiful. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the beauty of working with Jags, yeah, I just feel like I'm very lucky, so lucky. How lucky, yeah, how lucky I am. 3 years ago, I was looking for a co-founder, and I was like, I really need to have a good co-founder, and this is a criteria. And then I was asking, and people recommended me some, and I met some, and through my own personal work network, I met some. And then I was exploring different co-foundership with different ladies, and none of them led to a successful co-foundership. I just feel something off. And then when I met Jaclynn is more than what I wanted. It's something like it's so good to have, but I didn't even know those kind of co-foundership or this person could exist. It's like I manifest. I said no to the people, and then I found Jaclynn. Jaclynn, is a person who helps you grow. Like her maturity, emotional intelligence, her support. It's not something you're so lucky you can just find from like any other random person. So yeah, having a co-founder like Jaclynn, who is also my best friend, makes me feel like I'm the most fortunate person in the world. And then the second part is personality and character wise. You have big values. Values have to be aligned, including our head of house, Catherine. We're very genuine. We want to support other ladies, other business, other female entrepreneurs. We're genuine, we're supportive. And also we don't some people could get jealous, some people could talk small. We don't talk small. We're not into drama, so we never feel jealous with other people. So it's just character wise, we really enjoy hanging out with each other.
That's amazing. You're each other's support system, and
yeah,
a big huge community behind you too. It's amazing.
Yes.
So that would be all for today's Voices in PR. Please follow Fyli NYC at FYLI NYC. Give them some support. And thank you so much, Summer and Jaclynn, for joining us and sharing your stories with us.
Thank you so much, Blair, for having us. We really appreciate you for helping to amplify voices of women in this industry. Thank you.
Voices in PR is a platform where we discuss relevant issues regarding PR and social media. We get insights from influencers and PR leaders about useful and trending topics. If you like this program or would like to share your thoughts, please let us know.